so let's talk about what the grind looked like, what made you start exploring other paths, and how has this, helped, like, how has this helped your life and your mind and your body, and kind of tell us a little bit about like what the hours were, like the stress, the toll that it was taking on you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so my life before, just when I was in the 9 to 5 warehouse, I mean, it's pretty typical. You wake up at a certain hour, you know, and for me, my job was actually 45 minutes away. So I'd wake up, had to wake up an hour earlier, actually, get ready, hit the road, get on the highway, pull up to work, clock in, go through the motions, do that Monday through Friday, Saturday sometimes too, and then start it all over again. So that was the regular day. Wait till it's time to clock out. Wait till it's time for lunch. Looking at the clock, constantly looking at the clock. You know, um, that was what the schedule was like. My life was like. Now, as far as the toll was taking on my body, well, I was, I just turned 35, so I was actually 34 when I was still working there before I started this journey. Um, And at 34 years old, I felt like I was already feeling like, in my 50s, like body wise, not mentally, but,
Mm.
come getting off work, got no energy to go work on yourself, to go work at the gym, put in the work. I mean, because who wants to go work out at the gym when you've been laboring for 8 hours a day? And people don't understand that. That's why you see sometimes people that are in heavy labor jobs, of course, they're fat or overweight because, I mean, they're drained by the time they come home. Their job took their energy. So, physically, that's where I was at. I was getting off work tired, couldn't work on my body, couldn't work on my mind either, because I mean, the little bit of mind power that I had was just kind of wanting to go, just come home and sit down and let the body recuperate. So, body was, worn out, mentally worn out from just not being able to work on myself. To when I would be at work, I constantly felt like I was in a prison, because I knew that there was more out there, and and I knew I wanted more. And regardless, I just, so mentally, it was getting to a point where it was like a prison every day. I wake up and I'm trying to figure out how to break out of the prison. That sounds crazy, but it's like I'm trying to. And sometimes people don't understand. Like they might say go to another place, and I'm like, no, that's not the prison. I'm trying to break out of this whole prison. I don't want to. It's not gonna fix me by going to get another job, and maybe it's just a different crew that I need to be around. No, I don't want to be in a building. I don't want to be in a warehouse. I don't want to, I don't want to labor. I want to. So mentally, it was just catching up, man. I was going through all these thoughts, just fighting depression, um, and really just felt like my life was slipping away one day at a time. But luckily, I got a strong mind, and I come from a background that strengthened me from what I once lived. I could say I have a warrior mindset,